Welcome to this week's edition of the Weekly Whistle video series. This is Chris Rastatter, NCAA Men's Basketball National Coordinator of Officiating. In this week's video, we will break down the Coach's Challenge.
Previous out-of-bounds play has been challenged by Wisconsin and under review.
Over the summer, the Men's Rules Committee approved several rules changes for the upcoming season. The common theme was to enhance the overall flow and pace of the game. One very important new rule associated with that theme was passed. That is Rule 11, Section 4, the Coach's Challenge. The committee believes the Coach's Challenge will help improve the end-of-game scenarios and reduce the stoppages of play to review so many out-of-bounds violations under 2 minutes. Under the new Coach's Challenge rule, officials can no longer go on their own to review out-of-bounds violations. The same is true for basket interference and goaltending calls, except in the last 2 minutes and all of overtime. And also restricted area plays, again, except in the last 2 minutes of regulation and all of overtime. These calls would have to be challenged by the head coach. So what does that mean for us? It means no more watching players twirling their fingers and the officials going to the monitor on every out-of-bounds call. Let's look at the actual procedures and the rule the officials will follow this season when a play is challenged. A head coach may challenge the following called violations for instant replay review. Number 1, a called out-of-bounds violation at any point during the game. 2, until the last 2 minutes of regulation, a called basket interference or goaltending violation. Let me emphasize, you can only challenge a basket interference or goaltending play if it has been called on the floor. 3, until the last 2 minutes of regulation, after a foul involving a secondary defender, to determine if the defender was indeed in the restricted area. In the last 2 minutes of regulation and all of any overtime period, officials can go on their own to review called goaltending, basket interference violations, and restricted area plays. The review of restricted area plays is only to confirm if the secondary defender was in or out of the restricted area when contact occurred. Number 4, teams will be given 1 challenge per game, and if that challenge results in an overturned call, then the team will be awarded a second and final challenge for the remainder of the game. Number 5, teams must have a legal timeout in order to challenge a call. It can be either a 30-second or a full timeout. A head coach must call a timeout before the next live ball and then request the challenge before the referee finishes reporting the timeout to the scorer's table. Coaches should signal for a challenge by using the aforementioned twirling of the index finger. Number 6, if there is a media timeout or if the opposing coach calls timeout, a head coach wishing to challenge the play will be required to request the challenge before the referee finishes reporting the media or opposing coach's timeout to the table. Let me explain. When a coach or a player calls time, the official blows their whistle and points to that team's bench, verbalizing the timeout. The official confirms that the team wants either a 30 or a full timeout. After allowing the players to get to their bench area, the calling official reports that timeout to the scorekeeper, then signals the timer to start the clock. Once that happens, the opportunity to challenge the play has passed. Number 7, if during a timeout the game officials determine the call on the floor and the result of the play is uncertain or is changed, a team must immediately challenge after the official notifies the negatively affected team of the final ruling on the play. Number 8, regardless of a media timeout or an opposing coach timeout, if a challenge is not overturned, the coach who challenged will still be charged with a timeout, and the opposing coach will be charged for the original timeout. For example, let's say there's an out-of-bounds play that goes against Coach A and Coach B calls a timeout. Coach A can still challenge the play, and if the call is not overturned, then both Coach A and Coach B will be charged with a timeout. Bottom line is this: if you challenge a play and the call is not overturned, you will be charged a timeout and you will lose your challenge. Number 9, a team loses its opportunity to challenge the prior call if the team is called for a delay of game after the call in question, but prior to calling a timeout and signaling for a challenge. For example, preventing the ball from being put into play by engaging in a team huddle or failing to pass the ball directly to an official after the whistle is blown. Let me explain one additional aspect of the monitor reviews. Coaches can still appeal to officials to review the following types of plays: timing errors, scoring errors, like a 2 versus a 3, correctable errors, flagrant fouls, and contact dead ball technical fouls. As in previous seasons, officials maintain the right to review these plays on their own at any point during the game. And like a challenge, if the appeal is not confirmed or the call is not overturned, the head coach will be charged a timeout. One difference from a challenge is that a team does not need a timeout to ask for an appeal. However, if the coach has no timeouts and the appeal is not confirmed, the team will be charged with an administrative technical foul for excessive timeouts, so the stakes are high. That completes this week's edition of the Weekly Whistle and your crash course on the Coach's Challenge. I hope you found it informative and helpful. There's a lot to digest with the Coach's Challenge rule. I encourage you to watch this video a couple more times to better your understanding of the rule, and then watch for challenges when they occur throughout the game. You'll be the one with the answers when your friends have questions about the new rule. Have a great week, everyone, and we'll see you on the next Weekly Whistle.